Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We are up and running. We got some warm air coming through. We got it set to warmer than I personally enjoy it, 64 degrees. I have set my controller there. We have the I feel setting turned on. So this is my thermostat. When that hits 64, that'll turn off. What we're going to do today is I'm going to get this off the floor and onto the wall. It's a couple ways to go about it. I bought some little clip things to go inside the box. So when you put the drywall up, you can work around it. However, I had already wired everything, so not really super useful unless I want to take out the outlets, put the thing on, put it back, wing, and do that. We're going to do it old-fashioned way, where I'm just going to cut the height, and then I'll measure over and down, or over and up, or whatever. We'll make a mark, and then we'll cut out for the box. And how we are going to cut out for the box, that's great. Couldn't find my poke saw, but I bought some of these. And these go on your oscillating saw, like this guy. And they come in a single and a double. And this is the size of the box. So we take the plate off, put the drywall up, put the plate back on. And this will cut out a hole. If I can get it angled correctly, positioned correctly, just right for that. So you put it on your thing and you go just straight in and straight out. Have never used one. I'm going to give them a try today. We'll see how they react, how they work. If it works, great. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to do, plus a single for the Ethernet box and a double for the light switch. Should be fine. Tree guys came yesterday, did some work. Had to argue with my neighbors to move their cars. Don't know if I mentioned that. But they're here today, doing some more work. Doing a pretty good job, I think. So I'm just going to leave them to that. I'm going to be out here working on some of this. Now that this is good, we can put this stuff away. We'll see how well this operates for the next week or so. There may be a situation where I run that over there and just turn it on real low. I don't think I'll have to do that. We'll see. Total bill for the installation of this unit and charging and all that was $400 even. So I don't know if applicable rates in your area, don't know. Just that's what it was. Someone probably was going to ask. So the way we're going to do this, like I said, first thing we're going to measure from here down to the floor. And we'll cut this at that height, because there's no sense in working with all of it if we don't have to. And then we'll measure. It would be better to measure from here, but I don't have a real great stop over here. So we'll probably measure from the edge here in to this corner of the box, to that corner of the box, and then we'll measure from the top down to the top and the bottom of the box. We'll transpose those marks over here. So if it's, I mean, that's going to be a little more than 16, so we'll say it's 16, and then the box is 3.5, whatever it is. So we'll make a mark this way, 16, and then 19.5. And if we're going down, we'll call that 24, just for the sake of argument. So over 16, 19.5, down 4, 27.5. We draw a box. We put this on top of the box and just, that's how we do that. Okay. I'm going to shut the power off to that while I'm working on it, just because, yeah, better safe than sorry. Okay, I don't know if we talked about cutting drywall last time or not. So it was 43 and a half, 43 and a quarter. So we got a 1/4 inch off somewhere, and it's probably due to up there, but that's fine. Ain't worried about it. That ain't straight anyway. We're straight down here, not up there. So what you do, realize that when you're cutting this, if you have to turn it, you have to transpose your numbers. So that corner needs to be 43 and a half. I'm making the decision, we're going to make it a little shorter so it's going to sit better in the hole, less fighting with it. Okay? So you measure each side there to there. All right? Now you measure this way. We're 48 because it's a 4-foot piece. So you can do the math in your head if you want. I don't want, because I got a tape measure. It does the math for me. So this is our longer side. Right? We're just shy of 43 and an eighth is what I'm cutting this at. That side goes there. Right there. So when we pick it up this way, stand it up, we turn it that way. Okay? If we did it the other way around, this would be upside down, backwards, whatever. And right now that's fine. Try and avoid it. Other thing, factory edge, cut edge. Factory edge on the outside. Cut edge on the inside, just like we did with this one. And when we bump up our other piece, we're gonna mud it so we can hide the bad spots. That air feels nice. But we'll have the nice clean factory edges on the outside. And I did have to trim this down, which is why it's a little rough. But that's the point with doing it that way. And since this is beveled here and it's beveled here, we're not going to have and it's beveled here. It's beveled on the two 8-foot sides. When we stand it up, the bevels will go this way. The cut piece will go on the bottom, because as I've said all along, there's going to be a baseboard. It doesn't matter how good it looks down there. It just needs to be good up here. And a little bit of a gap is fine, because you're going to mud it, you're going to tape it, you cover it all up. Okay, so since this is slightly longer than 4 feet, my drywall square will not reach, and my level will not reach. So we're just going to line up this bit of board that we had left over. We made a mark on each side at the height we needed. And we could clamp it down. We don't need to, honestly. Here is your goal cutting drywall. You do not put your knife all the way through and then try and drag it. That will never work. I mean, it will work eventually. You will hate yourself. You will hate your knife. You will hate that drywall exists. You'll hate a lot of things. You can get a saw and cut it with a saw. That is very messy. It's going to make a lot of dust, and it's going to chew up your edge there. It's going to make it more difficult to just turn off or turn down, one of the two. Anyway, so this is gypsum. It's compressed powder, right? That's it. And it's brittle, and it breaks pretty easy. What holds it all together is the paper. The paper on the front, the paper on the back. So all you need to do is score the paper. Put a line in the paper and you can snap it. It's much quicker, it's much easier, it's much cleaner. The problem is, my arm's not long enough. And if I do it from this side, the blade on my knife isn't centered, so I'd have to do it left-handed. That's bad news. If I do it from this side, I can make the blade longer. That ain't gonna work. So we're gonna readjust and put our board on the outside. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Just needs to be pretty close. This is why I could never work at NASA. I'm a big believer in pretty close. And especially having to, you know, convert from imperial to metric and all that, I will absolutely screw something up. So, yeah, we'll just get it pretty close to our dots. Around about there. Now, if we pivot to meet this dot, this side's going to go that way. So I want to bump the whole thing. So I'm just tapping it. Now, if we put our line there, see, now we're off there. So we're going to run in the same thing if we pivot. That's all right. Okay, we'll get her cut, snapped, and then installed. Alright, hear the dog barking, and I hear someone talking at it. So, I'm going to keep an eye out. See if it's going to come walking down one way or the other. Probably not. It's probably over here, which we can't see. No, guess not. I guess not. I was hoping. Okay, cut is done. There you go. Now we need to get our height is good. Next thing we want to measure our width. We have, we call it 53 1/4, just for nice even numbers. So if we're going to go up against where this one stopped, 53 1/4, right about in the middle of our window. I'm okay with that. I can absolutely live with that. So we're going to measure off of our cut side, and we're going to bump it up even with this one. So from there to our stud, about 27 1/4. So we come in 27 1/4 this way to the stud. So I'm going to make a note. If we come down from the top of this one to the top of the box, top of the box is back there. We're going to make it 26 3/4. So measure the height of the box, and instead of measuring that one, which is way down there, covered up with insulation. This is the same box. So that is 3 3/4. So we're going to come down, and this does not have to be precise right now. 26 3/4 to the top of the box. That is right there. And it is 3 3/4 tall. So that's 29 1/4 is 30. 2 more quarters is a half. So right there. There are other ways to do this. Like we've got the cutter. We could just find a corner and kind of push it. But we're going to cut it from the outside. So when it punches through on the bad side, the side we don't look at. So now, our box width is 4 1/4. And if we're coming in this far to that stud, 27 1/4, we're going to be inside the stud, which from there, stud stops right on the crease of that paper, 26 1/4. So we're going to come in 26 1/4. There are easier ways to do this. Ain't gonna lie to you, but this is how we're doing it. In 26 1/4, right there. It's 4 1/4 wide. Well, 26 4 is 30. So 26 1/4 and 4 is 30 1/4, plus 1/4, 30 1/2. So this is where our box goes. Let's check our measures here. It's pretty close. Pretty close. Now, how do we find this from the outside? Well, I think I actually took them all in the other shed. You get a drill bit and you just put a hole in one of the corners. We can do it with a screw. It's fine. You just put a little hole and that's where you're going to line up your corner. Works great. So I'm just going to use one of these. Drill a little hole. We'll be good. Now it's going to be too tall, so we'll need to cut. Oh no, we already did that. I was thinking for the window, but no, we're okay there. Never mind. Ignore me. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need this. They had this thing running when I got here. They had it cranked up to 74. And the apprentice is that I didn't think it was on. I didn't even know. I came around the corner and I stood in front of it and the cold air hit me in the face. Like, I didn't even know that was on. It's very quiet. I think it's quiet. And if they think it's quiet, it must be real quiet. Anyway. So we're going to put little hole here. We'll put another one there. And we do two, because if I just put one, Is it this way? Is it that way? Which way am I going? So now I know these are roughly my corners and we're going down. And if I wanted to make sure, there, just like that. Okay, let's shut off power to that outlet. Take the cover off. Okay, I made sure to grab this last time I was in the shed. I was talking about that Linus Tech Tip screwdriver. That is West outlet. This is it. This is the Mega Pro, the original. These are the people who make the LTT screwdrivers. His has a chuck, not a chuck. It's reversible, ratcheting kind of thing. So you can chip, you know. Mine doesn't do that. I didn't even need mine to do that. This was 20 bucks. His, last I looked, was like 60. There's no reason for that screwdriver to be $60. Even with the ratchet thing, theirs with the ratchet is like 35. Don't pay for his name. You don't need to do that. I hope y'all appreciate how much of my podcasts I'm missing by recording these videos. That's a damn good looking hole, man. Worked just fine. So, don't turn it on and then try and go. Put it down, turn it on, and then you kind of have to rock it a little bit. Because these are not flat. You can see they're kind of round. But yeah, it was just real gentle pressure. It didn't make near as much of a mess as I thought. A punch saw, a key saw, makes a lot more mess than that. My only issue was that the way my saw works, when I would rock it, it would push on this, and this is how you engage and disengage the blade or the bit. Whatever you want to call it on this thing. But no, that worked great. I've got no complaints with that. I would happily use that multiple times. Now let's pick this thing up. Oh, okay. So somebody hopefully caught it, but I did it kind of on purpose. When you cut from the back, the brown side, and you snap off on the front, the white side, you can tear the paper. That's what happened here. That's what's happening here. What you do when you have this happen, because you can't mud over this, you can't paint over it, because it's just going to soak right through, get some oil-based primer, like some Kills, or some, I think it's Zinsser. Go over the top of that. No sweat. You're good to go. Now let's see if I can one-arm muscle this into place. I don't recommend doing that. Not particularly because these are heavy. I mean, half sheet of drywall is fairly heavy. Half-inch sheet. 5/8 is a little worse. But like we've talked about, it is brittle. It doesn't like to bend. So you don't want to do that. I better do this two hands just to save myself. I'm doing some cutter didn't quite cut the hole quite big enough, but also kind of too big. I think the problem is, I think that is a different box. I think the dimensions are just slightly off. So, full disclosure, screwed it up. I will patch it. I can do that. I have the technology. That's good enough for now. I'm moving some stuff around, and came out to grab that cabinet, and that's what's left of the tree, man. I think we'll take a moment and watch the expert at work here. See, this is the part that I got nothing. No experience, I don't have the tools or technology to do a tree like that. Like this one I could do. Well, that one I could do except the power line, but yeah, you gotta like tie off and all this other stuff. I've been in a bucket truck and cut trees before, but he's got some good saws. First pull every time. That's a man who knows what the hell he's doing. I'd say he was outstanding in his field, but he's clearly in a bucket truck. Bucket trucks are cool, man, until they start doing that rock back and forth thing. That's a little, you know, I like the ground. I don't have a height thing, really, but like I've fallen out of trees and I fell off a scaffold once. And explains a lot, doesn't it? No, but, you know, if I'm going to be up high, I don't want to be wobbling. You won't fall out, but still. I'm going to feel a lot better with that tree down. A whole lot better. So if you've never been in one, and I imagine the majority of you haven't, there's controls both at the ground and in the bucket. So when you see him grab just on like that, that's where his controls are. The one we used, the controls were inside the bucket a little more, like kind of out in front, and the joystick, because it's got like a joystick, and this does this, this does this, this and this, and then up and down. The seals on it were not very good, so that was a little much. I hate losing a tree because I love trees. I hate losing a tree, but this one was, it needed to go. Even these guys were like, that's a big tree, right? Well, anyway, plan is, it has been so nice in here. We're up to 60 on this side, 64 here in the middle. It's just very nice. It's been great today. So we're gonna get that little cabinet, the other one that matches that. I'm gonna put it under the window, put the power mixer on top of that, then I can hook the speakers back up. And then this stuff will kind of get relegated over here. And as this gets filled in, we'll kind of reorganize a bit. What's going to happen, I think, that being as quiet as it is, I was thinking we'd put the computer over here because I wanted to be away from that, but that is so quiet. We might put the computer over here somewhere. And if we get like a camera, a decent one, then we'll have, you know, we'll have the long shot. It's on right now. It's just barely even warm. I love it. So we'll have like this nice long, and then if we have music to record, videos for that, if we get some of my buddies over, we're playing tunes, they want to film it, stream it, whatever, we can do that. That's kind of the plan. Maybe we'll mount one like up here, kind of like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But that's the plan for the rest of the morning. Just kind of get some sound equipment set up over here. Can scoot some of this stuff over against the corner here, get it out of the middle of the floor. I think we'll put the bass amps and guitar amps and all that over in this neighborhood. Yeah. And we'll just see how it goes. If y'all enjoyed the guitar videos and all that, I'm thinking of doing one. I've got I've got a real interesting little piece of rack gear. It's not in there, it's in there somewhere. I think any booth junkies might be interested in. It's something I picked up at a pawn shop for like 20 bucks. And it's kind of interesting. But we'll get to that another day. Alright folks, I've been a little busy. Just a little bit. I brought all the speakers out. They can live over there, that's fine. Kind of organized in there a little bit better. It's almost warm in here. This thing says it's 59 on this side of the room. I had to roll my sleeves up because I was getting a little warm. Guitar stand, you've seen all of those. I was just going to set up this one because I'm like, oh, well, those are the 4 or 5 I'll probably use the most. But then, like, this takes just as much room open as it does closed. And since some of those guitars were in gig bags or on stands out in the middle of the room, it made more sense to do it that way. So those 3 bags, no, 2 of those 3 bags are empty. One of them has the white bass in it. That case has the Ibanez in it. But some of those are empty. That's got the old Yamaha in it. That piece of audio gear I talked about we're going to look at isn't there. I said we'd look at some guitar pedals one day. There's some in that little case. There's a bunch in there. There's those 2 cases. And this DG Stomp thing I was telling you about is right there. We'll look at that. I'm considering... This is the speaker I've been using for my gigs lately. It's a little Samson. I think it's 400 watts. It's a 112. I've been using those 2 PowerWorks forever. However, they don't do well in the heat. And one of my venues had me outside and it actually overheated. And I thought the thing died. It didn't. It shut down like it's supposed to, but I don't want that. These customs down there on the PowerWorks, excuse me, those are PowerWorks, not customs. And the Geminis are both, I think, about 120 watt 115s, just PA speakers. The PowerWorks weigh about double what the Geminis do. I don't know if they sound double the weight as good, but they're all right. These PVs I picked up at a thrift store. They needed some work. This one's got a new basket and horn. That one's got a new horn. I think I paid $85 for the pair of those. I've already had and sold one of those, and I think I might sell that one and the 2 PVs. They'd be a good little band practice jam room kind of thing. They'd be fine in here, but I think the Geminis are better. So I don't know. Might sell that little custom thing. Gonna keep that. That's a little monitor, a PA monitor kind of thing that sits on a mic stand. But it needs power. So I haven't used it. Am I still on? I am. Hi, hello. I was just checking a microphone here to see what volume wise, how loud I can go without getting feedback. I'm real close to the speakers. I've got some reverb. Too much reverb. But yeah, no, it ain't bad. What I would like to do, and I can't do it with this thing set up the way it is, which is why that mixer under my jacket there was set up. I'd like to be able to come out, put on some headphones, and play. And because it's just better, I think, to practice with headphones. Anyway, yeah, sounds all right. This, by the way, this is a Nady SP9. When I was working in a music shop, we were supposed to be selling Shure microphones, the SM58s. Everybody wanted an SM58. And then they got one, and then they're like, oh, I don't like this very much. And I can't say I blame them. I didn't love them either. The betas are better. The SM58s, it's a good mic, but, you know, the problem is everybody who hears it is hearing it EQ'd and mastered, and the gain's been boosted and all these other things. And just the mic in your hand on its own is not that good. It's not that good. It's very quiet, because it was designed at a time when people sang usually without a lot of amplification, because they didn't need any. So they had to project more. And the Beta 58 is the exact same thing, just it outputs more. Anyway, these Nadies I tracked down because we needed some microphones to sell, and side by sided them with some of these SM58s. They're pretty comparable tone-wise. Weight-wise, they are lighter. They're not gonna travel as well, but we'll get to that in a minute. An SM58 at the time, I don't know what it is now, and the other thing, our Shure rep was an absolute asshole, so I didn't do much with him. Anyway, the SM58 at the time sold for $100. These Star Powers sold for 39, I think. I think I could sell them for 35, but I think we priced them at 39. So you could buy 3 of these for 158. You could break 2 and still have, you know, you'd be great. And so speaking of build quality, this guy right here, there's one in that bag. There's my, this bag right there has one in it. That one doesn't. That's got a different mic. This bag has one in it. I have not bought a Nady microphone, a Nady Star Power microphone, just like the one I'm talking to now, for 18 years, 17 years, 18 years. It's been a long time. And these have been through moves. They've been used at live shows by me, by other bands, by other people, in bars, outside, in the rain. I've probably dropped them. I've probably kicked them. Children have picked them up and played with them. And I haven't been able to kill one. I'm not like hard on my stuff, but it's had, you know, your basic road mic life. It's been sneezed on, coughed on, spit on, all that wonderful stuff that you want your electronics to deal with. And they've been great. Absolutely great. Anybody who wants just a basic little dynamic mic, I would absolutely recommend a Nady SP9. It's not what I use when I'm out doing my gigs, though. I found we had a second music store I worked at. We got an offer for some Pro Deep mics, which are a European mic. We had a bunch of old PVs, I think they were, we had a little theater in the building, and we had events and all that, and got some crazy good deal. Like if you get 12 of these mics, you buy 6, you get 6 free, something like that. And so I crunched some numbers and said, okay, well that's a pretty damn good deal, because I can sell these, recoup the money for them, and replace all the crummy old PVs with some of these. And so that's what I did. And I liked them so much, I bought me one. And it's been my personal, like, singer-songwriter gig mic. Sounds great. I like it. I like it more than this. But this was the mic I took to gigs for a long time. What I don't like about these is there's no on-off switch. So the Pro Deep has an on-off switch. It's a TT1, I believe, is the model number on the Pro Deep. If you want to check those out. They're kind of hard to come by in the States. I don't know of any dealers other than the shop I worked at, and I don't think they carry them anymore because I'm not there to buy them. They probably went back to getting really expensive AKGs and Audio-Technicas and wondering why they're not selling any microphones. Same reason we never sold any Shures, because they're just too expensive. People want name brand stuff, man, but no one wants to pay name brand prices, and I don't blame them. This mic is $60 less than the SM58. Unless anything drastic happens, it could outlive me. Anyway, we gotta look at a thing. Running out of tree again, man. One of my neighbor's ladies said she would come take the wood, so she can have all she wants. I'm ready for lunch. Probably a nap. We'll see. Should probably hook up one of these amps, and I think I found in the house, yeah, snuck that back there. I think I found in my house another camera mount, so we might go grab that, and we might look at some effect pedals, plug them in, try them. I don't know if we'll plug them in or try them. We might just look at them. It seems silly to just look at them, but I don't know. We'll see.